up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders and closet swing traders? Hope you guys had a fantastic evening. Hope you guys are ready for today. We will see what the market brings. Who we got piling in the house? We got Andrew, good morning. Bill, Brian, D. We got Eric in the house. Foz, good morning. George is in the house. Gregory dollar sign. GWJ. We got Lucian, JT. We got Marcus, Michael Holt. Soch is in the house. What's up, Sochi? We got Marcus coming in. Oof, man, the squadron. We laced up those shoes. We put on the jerseys. We are here, team. We are here. Good morning. Hope you guys are ready for today. Yesterday, yesterday honestly was kind of a weird day in general. We did have the Fed notes come out again. No Jerome Powell yesterday, but that being said, it was I was looking for in the Fed notes. What I was really looking for is how fearful I guess the Fed was last meeting, because again, last time they did raise rates, we were thinking, and I think it was pretty much priced in for a 50 or half point rate hike. They came out with a 0.75. Some people were kind of expecting it, but I think the general market in general, because of what Jerome Powell said, that a 0.75 was off the table, and it comes out and it goes 0.75. There had to be a little bit of fear in there. So we kind of chopped around. We had some big moves back and forth early, and then just a lot of chop. We ended up diving right around 2 p.m. That's when the Fed came out. So we had initial pump. I would say the notes themselves were actually a little bit leaning more hawkish than anything, but there wasn't anything, like we still don't know anything, like nothing was in the notes to help us predict if he's going back to a 0.75 or doing a 50-point basis hike for the next meeting. So I think we still have a lot of questions, I would say, is probably the best way to put it. But market did end up rallying. So we had a weird dip after the report came out. It looked like we were heading toward the lows of the day, and then really no news came out, nothing came out, and we just started pumping after. So this move was very, very strange. And again, I don't know if you guys caught myself and Tracy talking yesterday. We were talking about some of the trades we took, where if we're looking at like just the charts, that was a natural spot to end up looking to buy things. But that being said, it felt weird. I don't know. The pump kind of came from nowhere. We just started ripping. Very, very crazy. Yeah, on really nothing. I still cannot find any reason. Lucian says, by the way, guys, if you want to just change hosts and panels to everyone, Lucian says unemployment claims are up 235 versus 230 from last report of 231. So unemployment is up a bit. Did that just come out now? Yeah, that was maybe the spike here. No, usually comes out at 8:30. No, it's 8 o'clock. All right, let's get some targets on things for the SPY. Just as we look at it, we'll see how bullish or not we might be. If we get some kind of continuation, or if we're going to end up retesting, at least early morning, they look like there was a little bit of gappage. Nothing too crazy, but there was a little bit. So we'd be looking at, just change this real quick on my screen. Settings. All right, we're going to leave that for now. Settings. I just want to make a quick change. There we go. Developing. All right, awesome. So if we do push a little bit higher, which right now we're sitting pretty much at the high of yesterday. So we have a little bit of wick on the 15-minute chart that we are still kind of technically inside day, but a lot of the bearish selling toward the end of the day, which again, I don't think was selling. I think it was more profit taking. We are above that. The one thing I would be concerned about is just how the market go today. So we're looking at the next stop in a bullish direction to 386.82. Right after that, we'd be looking for 388.98. And that's going to be a very, very strong one. If that breaks, that's going to be a very key number. So right in that 389 and change, so 389.10, somewhere in that zone. If we start to break that, we start to close above that, that's a very bullish sign for us. Next stop could get us up to about 395, 402.76, 407. That would be a massive, massive day today. But we have a lot of gaps we have to fill. We did on overall, if we look at the daily chart for the SPY, we are putting in higher lows. We rejected that 21, which again, anytime we've got kind of close to that 21, we start to reject that EMA a little bit. So if we could break it, we might start to see a little bit of a at least short-term double bottom with some higher lows, which would be very interesting. I think it's probably a little more clear on the hourly chart. So let me flip that over. Yep. So we have double bottom making higher lows, and on the hourly chart we look decent. The daily, obviously, we're running into a little bit of probably resistance from those EMAs, but yeah, I think I'd kind of still want to lean a little bit more bullish today. I think today is buy the dip opportunity day. Hector says buenos dias. Good morning to you as well, Hector. Man, Hector's here. My day is complete. All right, I'm signing off. Hector's here. That's all I needed. That's it. Let's take a look at the Qs. But SPY still looks good. Again, we might see a little bit of just retrace, something like that. So I'll be patient at the open as much as humanly possible. But yeah, I kind of want to buy the dip today. I don't want to be too bearish. The only thing that's gonna probably hinder some of the bullishness is some very, very close targets. We might hit there, then start retracing, and then we'll have to see. But overall, I think we are trying to buy the dip here. AMD seems like it's gapping up. All right, so we'll take a look at that one next. On the Qs, so the Qs again, pre-market is gapping up from the close of yesterday, still technically on inside day candle. The first target, which will be a strong one, 291.15. So that's the one we're looking to break. The one above that gets us to 293.09. We had a TTM squeeze back here, starting to break. We're not quite stacked correctly yet. Toward the end of the day, at least, some of that bullish momentum started to fade a little bit. If we could get past that 203 zone, that's going to get us a secure spot at 299.18. That would be the target. Again, that would be a massive day for today. We've seen crazy things happen. I don't know if we get that far, so probably the max I say is about 293, unless we get some crazy news that comes out during the day. Let's take a look at AMD. I almost bought some calls yesterday at the end of the day too. Why didn't I convince myself? Tony says, are my targets coming from POCs? Yes, they are. Yep. Short-term POCs. Again, we have a little bit of bullishness. So right now on AMD, 77.10 is the previous VPOC. So if that breaks, I'm going to watch this one very closely because we do have a little bit of bullishness in there. It is technically a retest gap. So I would love to see this thing, not that I have that magic power to make it happen, but what I would love to see is a retest. I mean, realistically down to about 74.72. Don't know if we get that. So about 76.11 probably. But where it's opening right now is right at a VPOC. So if we could get a little bit higher pre-market and just kind of dance around there for a little bit, give us a little bit of resistance that we could break through pre-market. I'm going to be using pre-market resistance a little bit. If we could get it right now, we just kind of ran up. I would expect probably a little bit of a fade and then look to go bullish. But we have a good range. So from here, the next stop would be $80.88. So that does give us about $3.80 in that range for target for today. To the downside again, the last level, which technically already did get retested, 75.01, that got retested yesterday at the very end of the day. So that was already retested, but 75, yeah, probably 75.01, 75.11, somewhere in that range. But otherwise, We are sitting at a VPOC right now. We have that gap that still has to get filled on an hourly chart as well. And again, that takes us roughly to about $81. I'll go a little bit shy of that. Tony says, I'm hoping for a pop on AMD, then buy puts. Just give the puts a second. We are just because we are down a lot. You don't want to be the first one to buy the puts on the first initial sign of rally. And again, I don't know if you're talking about for day trade or not, but yeah, if we get a pop, realistically, I'd want to maybe start buying around the $80 range, $81. That would be a better spot. And then the real location would probably be about $87. So we from this spot, if we do start to pull in some bullish momentum, not saying that the entire market's going to start going bullish and we put a bottom in, maybe we did, maybe we didn't. I have no idea. But what I would say is nothing just goes straight up or down. And even in bearish markets, we do have some downward momentum. Yeah, for protection. Yeah, protection at any level is fine. Just tiptoe into them and give yourself some time on those puts if you are going with protection. Because it looks to me like potentially we are starting to push a little bit bullish in the market. Again, on what? I don't know. Probably because the fact that we've been selling for 7 straight months in a row. Eventually, I feel like we have to get at least one positive one. But do we? I don't know. That's the question. So Tesla pre-market right now does not qualify, but AMD, yes. So AMD is on the list. It does qualify. We could look to play that one, and we might actually be able to play that one bullish with a 10 EMA, pretty close to out of the gate, just because both of those moving averages should line up, I would assume, but we'll double check that. Tesla is right at a VPOC. The next level on Tesla, bullish. I mean, realistically, we have 2 levels, 715 and we've 715, 73. We've seen right around that 715, 716 be a very, very strong support resistance in the past. That's going to be our first one. And then the second one that really never got retested would be closer to 733. So again, we could have some room in a bullish direction on Tesla as well. Again, lots of buying coming yesterday from this double bottom, which like a nerd, I was able to capitalize on the double bottom and sold out like way too soon, which is always the case. I could have let that one run a little bit, but I took it up to about 690. I think I took it to like 691 or something like that. 690, in between 690 691. And for me, I was looking to sell there just because it looks like we have a beautiful pennant pattern. We have usually a lot of those pennant patterns, they do come in. You could even see where I kind of drew it out yesterday, but a lot of those pennant patterns come in for a 50% retest. That acts as some kind of resistance. So as we started to pop into that range, I was clearing out, not knowing that, yeah, I probably should have just, I guess, held that one. But now this is how we learn. This is how we learn. But yeah, otherwise, decent location for Tesla. Again, not quite breaking the high of yesterday. So that's going to be an issue that we're going to run into at least right away. But it does have the ability from 15 minutes now even to start breaking the high of yesterday. That would make it qualify, or even at the opening bell. 703.69 is our price. Did we even get up there? Oh, we did get up there pre-market. No, we didn't. We got very close to it. Very close to it. Not quite there, but yeah, I mean, one candle and Tesla might be on the list to qualify, and it does have some bigger ranges. Again, at this point, I'll be looking for about a $15 move, but getting to about 733 would not be out of the question. That's not a massive move on Tesla by any stretch of the imagination. All of the push. Yeah, that was the other thing yesterday too. We had the stupid Fed meeting notes come out. So again, a lot of the technicals, I mean, on news, things could go wild, and I did kind of want to be out. So we will see. We got NVIDIA gapping up higher than yesterday. Again, I believe this would be a retest gap. It is a retest gap on the daily chart. We're very close to that 10 EMA. We're pushing into about the 8 right now, but look for maybe a little retest out of the gate on some of these things. So again, if we were a little bit patient, maybe we could get it. That was the break. Did we already retest pre-market? We might have already retested pre-market. We'll see. We'll see if this thing comes down, maybe somewhere in the 153.94 zone. Look something like that, and then look for some kind of continuation. But again, I do think we're kind of in an area where we want to look to buy dips. On an hourly chart, we do have a little bit of a double top. Where we're standing right now, we're actually slightly above, not the wicks, but the main candle of that double top. So we could get some continuation. Next target for NVIDIA would be, nope, that's Tesla. Hold on one second. Next spot for NVIDIA. We're running right into a little bit of resistance. So 155.16. So watch that 155.16. Maybe we get rejected there. If that breaks, that's going to be a great sign for us. That's going to take us to about 161. So that would take us about $6 higher. So we definitely have some range on some of these, at least the chips. Tesla has a little bit, but the chips look decent today. Let me go to Amazon. AMZN. So gapping up from the lows, not the lows, but we're gapping up from the close of yesterday. Not really as active, kind of just a little bit baselining a little bit on Amazon for right now. Let me see if I can get some targets. We're going to have a key resistance, which we did retest into yesterday, 115. So 115 even is going to be a struggle bus. After that, we have good range, 120.99, so almost 121 on Amazon. I'll definitely be watching that one closely. We did break yesterday's VPOC. So yesterday's VPOC was somewhere sitting around roughly 113. We broke that. We did retest it, and this is our first at close yesterday. We did retest into that other big previous VPOC of 115. That's going to be a big one. But we retested it yesterday. I think we have the ability to break through that at this point, and yeah, taking us to that 121 range. So again, we have a lot of potential stuff to buy dips. The question is, how long do we wait? Let's see if we can just log into my account real quick. Ooh, we got Pat in the house on YouTube land. What's up, Pat? All right, we'll just click log in. We'll take a look at Apple, AAPL. We got 11 more minutes. AAPL. So Apple looks very similar to Amazon. Amazon, we did get a close above the 21. We out of all the stocks we've seen so far, we have not actually closed above the 21. Apple did have a nice little push yesterday. Again, pretty sweet double bottom, higher lows. That was a good spot to get in. We see that little dip is right around the time that Fed notes came out, and then we had that strange ghost push. Not sure why. We randomly started to rocket, but we did. We're sitting at a very, very strong resistance right now. I'm going to watch Apple very closely. If that starts to break, we could make it up to about 147.03 on Apple. Probably going to hit a little bit of resistance a little sooner than that, 145.85. I would be taking some deep partials there if you guys are in it. But yeah, if we could get a little bit higher, there's really nothing holding us back from a bullish day. And again, Apple has the ability to move the overall SPY as well. So if Apple breaks, I'm guessing the SPY also pushes. That would give some confidence to everything else as well. So Apple's going to be key today. Apple will be key. We got Delta Airlines. Are they cruising or are they crashing? Very boring. They are not doing anything. We rejected the 10 EMA yesterday on a daily chart with a little indecision. We do have 3 green days in a row. One of them just kind of being a high wave, and then all the other activity 2 days ago. So what's today? Thursday. So Tuesday, very strong close, a little bit of a rest after a decent push. Again, got into that 10 EMA. So far rejected. Let me see if we got targets on this one. To the upside of things, we're probably looking at about 31.10. I'd say a little bit lower, so maybe about, let's go $31 even. So right now, that's only going to give us that's still decent. That's $1.30. We can definitely make something happen there. If that breaks, next target becomes $33.04, and that's a much stronger target. So we will see. Again, right now, at least from everything I'm looking at out of the gate, we kind of want to, or for me personally, I'd be thinking bullish. I would love to see some dips come in at the open to buy up, find some good locations, and see if we can get some good pricing. But for right now, we look a little bit more bullish than bearish, I think, across the board. George says, how do we get the recording from yesterday? Very good question, George. Very solid question. I don't know who, if Sochi's here, she might know who has access to when we save videos on Zoom, where they actually go to. We'll look into it, and then once we get it, we'll try to, I guess, post it into Slack for you guys. But yeah, valid question. I don't know. All I know how to do is hit the record button and then the stop record button. I'm very good at both of those, and even some of those times, not great, to be honest. Boeing looks like a little bit of a gap. So we have a little bit of support on Boeing, 137.07. Next stop on that one, 139. So Boeing could have some range. Take a look at Airbnb. What do we have? 923. No, so yeah, myself and Tracy, we did a class on the VPOC yesterday. So it should have came in right before the afternoon swing room, if that makes sense. All right, so she's gonna look into it. My girl's on it. All right, so Airbnb, a little bit flat right now. Again, we do have a little support, roughly 90, 92, 99. So we get some kind of dip, but again, we broke. We did retest. We're looking good for that. Continuation would probably take us to 94, 98. I'm not even sure how much of a dip we get, in all honesty. A lot of the stuff broke and then ended up retesting and then continued higher. We might have a decent continuation day. I would like to see at least one red candle. I just don't know how. I mean, look at BABA today. BABA is pretty much gapping at the highs. I mean, we're definitely clearing yesterday's high. Very close to clearing a few different touch points. Slightly at or above resistance, and then we have untested all the way up to close to 125, 124.88. Teladoc. So yeah, I was looking at Teladoc yesterday. Had a absolutely beautiful gap where this thing was opening pre-market. I mean, we were clearing just insane amounts of resistance. And for you guys that were there for the VPOC portion of things, if we're looking at the clusters on Teladoc, I'm not saying it's definitely breaking, not saying it's today's day, not saying any of that stuff, but look at all the volume and interest we have down here. We're starting to break above all of those ranges. So this dotted line, if you guys can see that dotted line, that's the highest point out of all the recent cluster. That's the highest point. We broke that. We retested it. Looks good for continuation. Could we see a little bit of a pullback? Maybe we get to like $37, something like that. Possibly. Start watching Teladoc though, because if we do start to honestly break out, I would even gesture like 39.13 would be a good spot for us. But at that point, we still want $41 to clear. If we start closing anywhere above $41, I mean, we have all the way up until, at a bare minimum, if we're just hitting this spot, $51. Realistically, probably about 56.89. Like, there's not a lot. Teladoc back to all-time highs. Don't put words in my mouth, Hector. That's a bold statement. That's a very bold statement. I don't know if I could. That's not a hill I want to choose to die on. But we have a wide open gap. Obviously, getting to break that. I mean, everybody's going to be looking at that gap for sure. And there's zero volume, zero interest, like no institutional activity, nothing. So there's nothing really holding us back, honestly, until, I mean, I could even go higher. I mean, almost $58, $59. We'll see, but keep an eye on that. Again, I don't know if today's a day, but it did have a nice gap, and then I think ended up retesting the entire thing. So it was pretty much a big retest. And if we do get some market push today, we will see if Teladoc can finally get some momentum. On Snapchat, huge resistance right around $15. Multiple times we've hit that. Lots of institutions have been coming in, pushing this thing, rejecting it down. If you take a look, though, volume's decreasing. So every time we got up to the zones, less and less. This one might have a good break eventually as well. And that would take you pretty much from $15 all the way up to really, I mean, $23. PLTR. What do we got left? We got less than 2 minutes. No, I need more time. I can't do it. PLTR. Yeah, we're good range on PLTR. So again, we're at a little bit of a cluster here, not as much in there. And then next stop will be about 10.58. Next real spot will be about $11. So there's a lot of room. I mean, obviously there's a lot of room on a bunch of these things because they just kept coming down with almost zero resistance. Netflix kind of just hanging out, so nothing too special there. But let me flip this back. Since we only have about a minute left, we'll get those charts ready. All my friends out there in YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button if you have already not, just because it makes me feel good in the morning. That's really it. But at the same time, you know, they say once you do something good for someone else, you feel good about yourself too. So is it about me or is it about you? All I really need, just make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Let's confuse the YouTube algos. Unfortunately, at this time, YouTube, I got to disconnect from you guys. Have a great day. Be safe out there in the markets. Again, could we start to maybe look bullish? Right now, I say yes. At the end of the day, we'll see if that sentiment changes completely because we are in that kind of market. But for right now, I think today is a buy the dip opportunity. I'm looking personally to go long on things as opposed to go bearish. But again, YouTubers, I'll catch you guys later. And if you guys did want to hang out all day, make sure you check out reallifetrading.com. We have a lot of free online content, free education,